live right now.
So you got that music?
Oh, yeah. Well, look now.
So I'm up all night with no sleep. Nightmares and demons on my first feed. OD. That shallow breathing kinda fucked me up low key. But I don't speak until I die. I promise not a tear fall from my eye. Go to war, that's my battle cry. Tell them why. I stood 10 toes down in these streets. Whole ground in these streets. Roll around the city with the pound in his beat. How to make this my last stand. But that you're not an ordinary man. I'm a motherfucking soldier. The last stand of a soldier. I stood 10 toes down in these streets. Whole ground in these streets. That's right. Roll around the city with the pound in his beat. How to make this my last stand. But that you're not an ordinary man. I'm a motherfucking soldier. The last stand of a soldier. Yeah. I'm so ahead of my time, but the flow is ancient. Tell them show some respect, watch what you put my name in. We are nothing to be fucked with, them boys is dangerous. Make it hard for your team like them boys is tanking. On extended with the pound like you left me hanging. If beef got well done, nigga, we related. Cause I held ground like I cop some acres. And they don't really want no smokers like they pumping vapors. Take ground, we 6 deep in your space. Ready to work on what? You take ground, it's a ditch. With 6 niggas picking your casket up. Don't pass this up. They say they built different, but these niggas they only tough. When it's beef, I roll around with the pound again. Coming for the crown, get rid of the bullshit. That's a rule you flush. No matter how many people or weapons, you can't roll with us. I done held ground for so long, it ain't no roofing up. Long as my niggas know I'm nice, you ain't got room for us. I stood 10 toes down in these streets, whole ground in these streets. Roll around the city with the pound in his beat. How to make this my last stand. But that you're not an ordinary man. I'm a motherfucking soldier. The last stand of a soldier. I stood 10 toes down in these streets, whole ground in these streets. Roll around the city with the pound in his beat. How to make this my last stand. mercy. Real soldiers cry loud like a nurse. Son of the power, U.P.K first. Revenge him.
Shalom, Israel. I am priest and officer of 50, Kasayad of I.S.U.P.K. Atlanta. Started out at 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yahanna. Tonight is the biblical law class. Each and every Wednesday, all over the country, I.S.U.P.K. is teaching the law class on Wednesday. Tonight, my topic is the Christian church teaches you how to embrace your demons. The I.S.U.P.K. teaches you how to defeat them. Before we get started, I want to say that the I.S.U.P.K. is not affiliated with any other Israelite group.
Right.
The I.S.U.P.K. is the home of the truth. This is where it started. This is where it will be. This is the only place you will get the truth. Anything outside of that is a lie. With that being said, we're going to get into the topic tonight. But first, let me make sure, do we have anyone on the call just yet? Salaki, is anyone on the call?
I'm getting them, no, credit, true, buckle up,
Shalom, Lord Christ, you Tawab?
you come cut, what's that credit, you come cut, you 12 by 1?
Tawab, excellent. We'll be getting started here shortly.
Okay, what's that credit, you come cut?
Excellent. Do we have anyone else on the call? Tonight I want to do something a little different. You know, bring in the class with some war music to get us in the priest mode. Going into that war, going into that battle, because tonight I'm going to be discussing how you fight your demons. Not just discussing it, but teaching you how you fight your demons. For those of us here in the I.S.U.P.K., we know this. We understand this. We go to war every single day, understanding that life is about war. So when we wake up in the morning, that's what we're choosing. We're choosing to go to war for ourselves. We're choosing to go to war for our brothers and sisters. We're choosing to go to war for our nation, which is the nation of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. That's who we're going to war for. We aren't affiliated with any other group. We come out here with the truth. We come out here to tell you we are not Christians. And we let you know that if you come in here, there's things that you're going to have to learn to do. One of those things that you're going to have to learn to do is to shed yourself of Christianity, which means you'll be getting rid of those demons. You're going to understand tonight that the Christian church teaches you how to embrace those demons. You're going to understand also tonight that the I.S.U.P.K., we defeat those demons. We destroy those demons. We cast down those demons. So as we go through the class tonight, and there may end up being a part 2 to this, because there's a lot of things that I need to go over, because if you look at the nation as a whole, if you are not in the I.S.U.P.K., you're destroyed. Understand that if you're not in the I.S.U.P.K., you are destroyed. You don't know how to go to war with your demons. The Christian church teaches you that the law is done away with. So if the law is done away with, you have no idea what it means to go to war with your demons. Because if you don't follow the law, that means you have opened the door for the demons to come in. Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but as we go through these scriptures tonight, I want those of you who are out there watching, those of you who call in, those of you who are online, on Facebook and YouTube, follow close, take your notes, and understand that tonight we're going to discuss what it is to defeat these demons, because you can't be free until you defeated these demons. And to defeat the demons, you have to be in the truth. To be in the truth, you have to come into the I.S.U.P.K. With that being said, I'm going to touch on a few things and let you know just some of the basics of the thought process. And as the class goes on, I'll get a little bit more in depth of how we think and the way we move and why we think the way that we do, to let you understand more what it is that you're doing that you may not be aware of. Because the first thing to do when you are trying to defeat an enemy or trying to defeat an issue or problem, you have to be able to identify it. You have to first know that you have demons. And everyone has them. You have to know that you have them, and you have to know how to identify them. In the world, you mask your issues or your problems or the demons that you have with medication. Now, I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying not to go to the doctor, because the scripture says to honor the physician. But what I want you to understand is that there are tools that you can use. And those tools are in the law, statutes, and commandments given to us by the Most High. So tonight, we're going to touch on some of these scriptures, and I'm going to break it down to the point to where you can see how it is that you need to move, how you need to cast down the imaginations that you have and make them obedient to Christ. In order to do that, you have to first, for lack of better words, we're going to say submit and accept that you have to follow the law. You can't continue to do the things that you want to do. Because if you can't do the things you want to do, that means you have to adhere to something. You have to have a moral code. And the only moral code for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are in the law, statutes, and commandments. Unfortunately, the reason why we are in the situation that we're in is because we don't. So if you're out there celebrating these oppressive holidays, you don't know the law, statutes, and commandments. If you're out there smoking dope, you don't know the law, statutes, and commandments. If you're homosexual, you don't know the law, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
If you are with your oppressor, if you're a black man, Hispanic man, or Native Indian man, and you are with someone outside of your nation, you don't know the law, statutes, and commandments. And guess what you have then done? You have opened yourself up to demons. Understanding that anything that you do that goes against the knowledge of the Most High makes you susceptible to demons. It makes you susceptible to sin. It makes you susceptible to destruction. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for any of Israel. I want us to live, and the only way that we can live is through the law. So I want someone to tell me, when we're discussing, since we're going to be discussing demons, what do demons do? Anyone on the phone? Can you tell me, what does a demon do? What is his job? Go ahead up.
Is a demon's job to destroy you?
Absolutely. Absolutely, that's what it is. The demon's job is to destroy you. That's the only mission that he has. And what you have to understand is, with a demon, that demon can sit and deal with you for a long time. You could have an ailment and it deal with you for a long time and then destroy you. Or it can destroy you quickly. But the reason why you would get destroyed the majority of the time is because you aren't following the laws, statutes, and commandments. So therefore you couldn't defeat that demon. Understand that drug use, becoming a drug addict, that's a demon. And what do drugs do? Drugs make you lie, cheat, steal, kill. And in turn, those same things can happen to you, but you can also lose your life. That's a demon. And the demon's job is done once you've been destroyed. Now, I won't go too heavy into this, but if you remember the story in the Bible of the man who had the legion of demons, once those demons were cast out of him, once Yahushua cast those demons out of him, they wanted to go into the swine. Once they went into the swine, what did they do? They ran speedily, violently down a hill into the water. The scripture says that they choked, meaning they drowned. It was about 2,000 of them. So a legion, we're going to say it's at least 2,000. That's how many demons this man had. If you look at our people today, a legion of demons would be a common thing. Because if you go out there and you look at what we're doing, we have invited so many things that go against the knowledge of the Most High into our lives. Drug use alone opens you up to doing so many things that you shouldn't do. Just in the drug use. I mean, drug use in itself, that's witchcraft. It opens your mind up and takes you into realms that you shouldn't go into, and it causes you to do things. So when I say cause you to do things, you have to understand that there's a demon, and when that demon gets on you, that demon is going to whisper to you. Or that demon can yell. And what you'll do is you'll respond to that demon, and you'll see that as I go through class today. So understanding that a demon's job is to destroy you, you'll need to understand that the battle is also, it's in your mind. You know, a lot of people when they're saying that you have to follow your heart, understanding that your heart in the scriptures is talking about your mind. It's the thought process that you have. That's where all the battles are here. But you have to understand what it is to go to war with those demons, to go to war in your mind. I know that it's something for me that I have to do daily. When I go to my slavery, I have to go to war. When I go home, I have to go to war. When I drive to and from, I have to go to war. Because it's always something. There's always some sort of attack. But what do I have? I have these laws, statutes, and commandments. I have my brothers in the I.S.U.P.K.
Word.
I have Captain Rashaziah, who I can go to for counsel. Which you need to also understand that in this school, in this truth, you have men that are above you. Each school has a camp leader. When you can go to your captain, that's who you go to when you're struggling, when you're battling with something. He is the one who will give you that wise counsel that you need in order to defeat these demons that you have. You come to class, you go to camp, you stay around your brothers. And as I go through the scripture, you'll see what I'm saying when I say staying around your brothers, by going to camp, coming to class, going to the feast days, just enjoying the brotherhood. Because the scripture tells us to come together, O nation not desire. Well, we need to come together. We come together and we war together. No brother in here is supposed to war by himself. As a matter of fact, you can't just war by yourself. You wouldn't war by yourself if you know that you have your brothers here that you can go to. I know for myself, I can never forsake the council again. Because if you don't go to council, guess what happens? You're inviting demons. Because if something gets on your heart, as we said, that's your mind. If something gets on your mind, what happens is those demons can then come in and start doing what they want to do. Because you were too stubborn or you were too weak to go and get counsel, to go to the man above you, to go to your captain and get that counsel that's needed so that you can defeat the demons that you're dealing with. Tonight, I'm probably going to go into a few of those demons that I've dealt with and that I go to war with, and I'm proudly going to war with, because one of the things that we have to do when we understand following the law, going to war with your demons is brotherly. Understand that. I'll say it again. Going to war with your demons is brotherly. And why is it brotherly? Because what we have to do is, when we go into war with those demons, we're protecting our brothers. We're protecting ourselves. I don't want to go, like, for example, you take a boxer. It has been said that for some boxers, they don't have sex before a fight to keep themselves strong, to keep that what's the word that I'm looking for? Go ahead.
Discipline.
Yeah, to keep the discipline, but also to keep that testosterone up. They haven't released themselves to make themselves, a little bit weak. So what they do is they keep that in them, and then they go and they fight. Well, if you go to war weak, what happens? You can fall. You can have the brothers that around you fall. So I have to look at myself in situations and say, I need to make sure that in every aspect of my life, I'm operating under these laws, statutes, and commandments with everything, because I have to protect my family. I have to protect my brothers out there, whether it be at camp, whether it be in this classroom, wherever we are, whatever it is that we're doing. I don't want any demons on me getting on anyone else, so I have to go to war. We all do. It's a daily battle. Anytime when you think that, hey, I've got it all, I'm good, I'm done, I don't have to do it, I can guarantee you that demon is whooping your ass. I can guarantee you that. But tonight, we're going to go into that thought that makes you potentially get destroyed. So we're going to discuss a lot of things in the book of Proverbs. But before I go any further, do we have anyone else on the call?
So I got one.
Shalom, Lord in Christ. What's going on?
Shalom, Lord Christ. Not much. I don't want.
I'm Tawad. I am Tawad. Good to hear you. All right. You got anything? You hear the topic that we're discussing tonight. The Christian church teaches you how to embrace your demons. The I.S.U.P.K. teaches you how to defeat them. That's the topic. And if you got anything to bring out, you already know what to do.
Come.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, tonight you're going to hear me go into the book of Proverbs a good bit, at least for this first part of the class. The book of Proverbs, if anyone can tell me, what does Proverbs mean? All right, well, I'll tell you. Proverbs means wisdom. The book of Proverbs was written by King Solomon. So yes, Proverbs means wisdom. And what we're going to do in the book of Proverbs is go through a few scriptures that break down or help you to understand the thought process and how you're supposed to think. What you're supposed to do when you're thinking these things. That's how you go to war. You're preparing for war by understanding these scriptures. So if you would, Officer Napash, if you would give me the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 11. But before you read that, Salakia, if any trooper is on the phone that is able to read tonight, I'm going to get Napash to read this first. But if any trooper on the phone is able to read tonight, I would ask that you do that, Baba Kasha. But if you would, Officer Napash, give me Proverbs 3 and 11.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 11. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. Verse 12.
Now hold on right there. The chastening. Chastening means correction, to correct. Despise not the chastening of the Lord. Read that one more time for me. Read Proverbs 3 and 11 one more time for me, Baba Kashad.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 11. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction.
Understand that most blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, if you are not in the I.S.U.P.K, you know what you're doing? You're despising the correction of the Lord. You're despising the wise counsel. That's what you're doing. And if that's what you're doing, guess what? You have demons. Without a doubt, you have demons. You believe in your mind that the way that you are doing things is the right way. That's why you don't want to hear correction. You want to continue to do what it is that you do to fulfill your lust. You want to be able to enjoy what you think life is about, what the world is about. You want to be able to do what it is that you want to do. So when someone comes to you to correct you and say, look, you shouldn't be eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, in your mind, you're like, that's absolutely ridiculous. There's nothing wrong with me eating that. What does that have to do with God? That's what you'll say, especially even a Christian. Christians believe that you can eat anything because they have no understanding of the scriptures. So therefore, they're despising correction. They're despising it. I'm going to continue to read. Matter of fact, from that, let me tell you what. Give me Proverbs 14 and 12. So we're going to be in the book of Proverbs a good bit tonight. Give you some of this wisdom that is in this book.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 12. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death.
Now, there's a way that seems right to man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. You're going to die because you think you know. Because you despise correction, because you don't want to listen, because you want to do what you want to do, you're going to die. And that's a demon. You have a demon. Understand that. For those of you who are watching this class for the first time, for those of you who are not in this truth, for those of you that are Christians, understand that you have a demon when you don't want to listen to the men that have been ordained priests and prophets to be able to teach you these scriptures. Your Christian pastor isn't going to teach you these scriptures. What your Christian pastor is going to do is teach you how to summons the demon, teach you how to embrace the demon, teach you how to essentially commit suicide. And guess what? If you commit suicide, that's a demon. You're being taught that every single day you take on the culture of your oppressor. It's actually committing suicide. Think about that. You are committing suicide by embracing the culture of your oppressor. The culture of your oppressor is Christianity. And what does Christianity do? Christianity celebrates holidays, pagan holidays. Christianity doesn't tell you that you're wrong for being gay. Christianity doesn't tell you that you can't eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. Christianity doesn't let you know that there's consequences, that the wages of sin is death. Christianity tells you that all you have to do is say, Lord, I accept you into my heart, and I'm not going to do it again. There you go. There's no other work that needs to be put into it. But that would be false. That right there is killing you. How many of you know someone out there who tries to explain away that you can smoke weed? In his mind, he believes that that's what he can do. And he'll tell you, well, God made dirt, and dirt don't hurt. So if it's a plant, it came from the earth, it came from the dirt, then I can smoke it. That's what they'll tell you. Because in their mind, because the imaginations that they have that need to be casted down, they haven't. That's why they can be influenced. That's why those of you out there in the world of Christianity can be influenced to do things that you shouldn't do. Because there's someone around you that has demons that is enticing you to do what it is that they do. They want you to have demons as well. Actually, you do, but they want to give you theirs. But for those of you who are watching class tonight, there's something in you to let you know that you don't want to continue to live the way that you've been living. There's something. Go ahead, Op.
If I could, like you said, hear me earlier about, a drug being a gateway for being many things, right?
Con.
With that being said, it's safe to say that tribute that you said that because, you know what I'm saying, we know Christianity is a drug. It's like, it's safe to say like that. Christianity is a drug that, is a gateway to all the everything. That's like it.
Absolutely it is. Absolutely, absolutely. Christianity is a hell of a drug, and Christianity is a gateway drug. It's a gateway drug to the hell that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians live in right now. Think about that. Listen to that wordplay. Christianity is a hell of a drug, and it is a gateway drug to hell. And I'm not talking about the hell that Christians talk about that's at the center of the earth, because that isn't hell. Go ahead, Op.
It's so heavy that you guys bring out that point. I just want to piggyback off what Michael Lapp was saying about the Christianity being that, being that hell of a drug. America been saying from the beginning that America is a Christian country, and they accept all religions. They're just like saying, we got this drug and we welcome all users, from all nations, from all beliefs. It's a lot.
Absolutely. Heavy point that you also just brought out. Because what they are saying is we invite you to come and get high with us. We invite you to come and partake in what it is to go against the knowledge of God. We invite you to invite all demons. Every single demon that you have, we invite you to embrace them. Matter of fact, when you come to America, with all of our religions, with Christianity, Buddhism, Muslims, all of those things, those right there are gateways to all types of demons. Because all those demons, what do? They go against the knowledge of God. That's what they do. They create in you imaginations that go against what the truth is. And you're going to hear me say going against the knowledge of God and these imaginations once you follow me on down as I get into the scriptures even deeper. And understanding that demons are serious. In the Christian world, especially when you see movies, they'll make it seem like a demon is some person with black eyes and he's some monster of some sort, when actually it's to the contrary. A demon can be a person that's standing right next to you. That person can have demons all over them. And guess what? You can get those demons. The second they say, well, here, smoke this blunt. That demon is then saying, here, let me offer you this so I can open your mind up so that I can let the demons come in. That's what's happening. Because guess what? That's what I did. Stepping onto myself for a second so that you can understand how these demons work. I was living with some oppressors. once I started off into the world of selling drugs. They came to me and said, well, here you go. Handed me a large amount of pills, told me, do what you do with them and bring me this amount back. I can actually, Salaki, I can spare you the details. Ultimately, what happened is, once I did that, I decided that night, well, yeah, I definitely want to try it as well. Because, like, yeah, you know what it feels like. So what did I do? I did it. I accepted what that demon said. And once that demon said, here, try it, I tried it. And I'm not trying to sound like an after-school special with some just say no. I'm telling you, demons are real. Once you partake in drugs, you've opened yourself up to a place that you have no idea of until you've done it. And even then, you don't know what's going on. Understand, this is something serious. We have to go to war every single day because our mind is weak. Our mind is weak because we don't have any structure. When I say we, I'm talking about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, not the men in the I.S.U.P.K. Everyone else is weak. They're taking hits and blows, and they don't know how to put on any defense. They don't know how to counter. They don't know how to jab. They don't know how to get out of the way. All they can do is get beat and get beat and get beat and get beat until they're nothing. Why? Because they despise correction. Give me Proverbs 3:11 one more time. Matter of fact, someone on the phone, give me the book of Proverbs chapter 3, verse 11. Book of Proverbs chapter 3, verse 11. Go ahead.
This is the book of Proverbs chapter 3, verse 11. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his.
Understand this. What happens when you despise the correction, you will celebrate Christmas. The Christmas tree catches fire and burns down your house in the middle of the night.